Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today we're going to do something fun. I decided I want to start to reset some of my succulents, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about propagation. So we're going to try out some propagation and create a different succulent arrangement out of succulents that I already have. So let me show you what I have and what we're going to do today. I wanted to show you these succulents right here. I've already taken off the parts that I want to propagate, but this one's, and excuse my pronunciation, I really don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but I will put the name on the screen. This one's a Cotyledon, is the way I pronounce it, Choco line. It's really beautiful. I absolutely love it. So I reached in and I cut out a piece, and I'll show you that. This is another one that is really, really cute. I can't pronounce the name at all, and mostly because I don't have my glasses on and I can't see the tag. I'll put that on the screen also. But this one's a pickle plant, and as you can see, it has grown really, really tall. And there was a piece that was growing out the back, so I just pulled that out. I reached in and I grabbed it around the base and pulled really gently, and it came right out. So that's one of them that we're going to be propagating. And then this one right here is a Panda Plant. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. Kalanchoe, and this one is the one that we're going to propagate, and it's not a Panda Plant. This one's called a Chocolate Soldier. So it's related to the Panda Plant. So it's another Kalanchoe. It was growing up and through the racks at the top, so what I did is I cut out the part that was too long, and now it's under the lights again. So those are the ones that we're going to try propagating. Now this is another one right here. We're not going to actually propagate this. What we're going to do is we're going to be dividing up this bowl, because my succulent obsession has not tamed itself at all. And we have another order coming from Mountain Crest Nursery, and I wanted to put some of those in this pot with this beautiful dark aloe. It is absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to be taking this little aloe out of here, and this is a sedum. This is a lime gold sedum. So we're going to be using that along with these. And these are the succulents that I propagated. Let me see if I can get it to focus. You can see how I pulled this one out. It's still a little not in focus, but I pulled this one out of the soil and let it sit for, I let all of these sit for about 4 days. And they've got a nice little callus at the end now. So the reason you let it sit and get a callus is so that it won't rot later. So this one is the pickle plant. This one's the Cotyledon, the Choco line. And maybe you can see that the end is calloused there. This is the Chocolate Soldier. And then I forgot to show you, but this is a jade plant, and it's one of the very low growing. I think it's called red carpet. It's really, really gorgeous, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. And there's the red carpet jade. This one right here. It is absolutely gorgeous. Sorry about the lines. I didn't want to turn off the lights again, but that is a gorgeous plant. So here they are again. Those are the plants that I'm going to propagate along with the ones in these bowls. And let me show you what I'm going to use for my propagation. I found a nice bowl at one of my favorite garden shops. It's Basil and Rose in Bountiful. It was fun to find that. I think it's really pretty. And then I also love, besides growing plants, I also love collecting rocks. So here's some rocks that I've collected with my kids as they've grown up. So we're going to use some of those. And one of my favorite cactus mixes is this black gold succulent and cactus mix. Let me show you what it looks like. Now you can see in this pot, that's the black gold mix. It's got bark, it's got pumice, it kind of looks like lava rock, perlite, some sand. Maybe it's got some peat moss. Let me look on the back. So it says it has perlite, pumice, ore cinders, processed softwood bark, forest products, sphagnum peat moss, and it may contain some compost and earthworm castings. But my plants have absolutely loved this mix. It is an extremely fast draining mix. As soon as you put the water in there, it's draining out the bottom, but it obviously holds enough water that I only need to water my succulents once a week. And they absolutely grow beautifully in this one. Now this is a little bit different right here. This is the Miracle-Gro succulent mix because I ran out of I didn't have enough of the black cactus mix. And I wanted it to hold a little bit more water since we are going to be propagating. So in the Miracle-Gro mix, I added extra perlite and extra pumice so that it would drain better. So that's the mix that we're going to be putting it in. And this mix is completely dry. And from the research that I've done, when you're propagating, you don't water for a week or two after you put the cuttings in the soil mix, just to give them a chance to get established without actually rotting. Now the first thing that I want to do is I want to actually pull out this little black aloe plant, and then I want to pull out this sedum. This is a lime gold sedum. So we're going to pull these out, and then I've got some more plants coming that are going to go in with the rest of these dark aloe plants. Now I really actually like to use these dental tools. I guess they're not dental tools. They are plant propagation tools. One came that was bent, and that's the one that I like to use the most, and I got one that's straight. They're huge. I like to use the spoons, and then I've got some fine brushes to brush the dirt off my plants. So what we do is we go in here, we dig way down, squeeze a little bit, and just pull the aloe up. And that's what it looks like. And that's what it looks like. So it's got a few good roots on it. Now let's get the sedum. This one was grown from a cutting. I think I did it a year ago. Very close to a year ago. And this is what it looks like. So this is the amount of roots it's grown in a year. And it's grown a little bit leggy because I think it's been completely surrounded by the aloe. Now I am not a real, well, I guess I'm a landscape designer. I am a landscape designer, but I do have a little bit of difficulty sometimes deciding how I'd like to, put these succulent arrangements together. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of try to lay things out a little bit and see what it looks like. Now this one right here, I'm going to stick it down in here. We'll probably have to find a way to prop it up later. Let's try that there. This is going to get quite large. Let's see what this one looks like here. So this one will grow pretty full. It'll get a lot of sticks coming out. This one is going to grow really full, and it's going to grow almost as tall as this one, but not quite. And so maybe we can stick those there. The Choco line is going to grow really wide, but not as tall. So let's try it down in here. And then the Crassula, and then the jade plant stays really low. So I'm going to put this around the plant. So let me see. Maybe we'll just move this one over here and put the jade plant around the rock here, so it can kind of surround the rock. Let's maybe move this forward, or maybe move it out. We may need to move it out. Let's see. Let's move it out and see what happens. What if we put the jade plant, getting the roots down where they belong, covering those up. Okay, what if we put the aloe here? And then the sedum here. Now keep in mind these are succulents, and they are actually going to grow very slowly. And they'll eventually fill this out, but once it gets too full, then we can actually pull it apart. So let me get this one buried and see if I like it there, and then we're going to bury them a little bit better, just to get this to stand up a little bit. Now let's get a little closer and see if I like it. I've got to imagine this filled in a little bit more, but I think I like it. Actually, I like it enough that I may not mess with it anymore. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. So I think I really like it. Now the last thing that I'm going to do is put a top dressing on it. And I've just barely started putting top dressing on my sedums, but I found this at Home Depot and it's actually a really beautiful stone. So let me put some of that on there and show you what it looks like when it's finished. There we go. Now, as I said, I am not going to be watering this for at least a week. We're just going to give it time to get settled, make sure that the calices are set and that no rot will get into them. But I think this is going to be really pretty, especially once it starts filling in. Once it fills in too much, then we're just going to pull this apart and redo it again. So thank you for coming along with me on my first succulent arrangement. Well, actually, big arrangement. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm thinking I might also bring you along when I get my next mountain crust package and show you what I've got. And for the rest of this winter, I think, while we don't have a lot of outside projects going on, what I'd like to do is kind of go over the different varieties of succulents that I have and kind of talk a little bit about the care of each. Now, when I say variety, I'm not talking about each kind, I'm talking about the different varieties. For example, there's the echeverias, there's jade plants, which are Crassula, sedums, those kind of plants. We'll show you the ones that I have from each of those varieties and talk a little bit about the care and how you can know whether or not plants will go together in arrangement. Now, I'm hoping that I put these plants together in this arrangement correctly. Some of them are winter active and some of them are summer active, and I'm hoping that I didn't mix the two because sometimes that can cause a few problems. But I'm really excited about my succulents and I'm very grateful that you came along with me, and I hope you go have a wonderful garden adventure.